So you've received your ghost kit, and now this video will help you assemble that kit. So first of all, when you're dealing with the carbon fiber, just be careful because there could be some sharp ends. And the tools that you'll need are here in front. I'll go over those real quickly. First, you need some type of thread locker. And this could be Loctite or any other type of blue thread locker. Then you're going to need a really small 1.5 millimeter hex wrench, a 2 millimeter hex wrench, and a 2.5 millimeter hex wrench. And these two tools you're going to be using a lot, so you'll want to just keep these with you when you travel or go from shoot to shoot. Then you may just find these in a set, and you can bring that with you as well. On here there's a 3/16 inch hex wrench that you'll use just for the grips, and a set of pliers might come in handy. When you get your kit, you want to find a nice big open workspace so you can lay out all your parts and assemble from there. So we'll begin with really simple clamps. Go ahead and grab these clamps that have 3 holes in them, and then there'll be the opposite side that has 3 holes and the nuts. And then you need these 37 millimeter screws. This is where we'll probably just do a time lapse. And these are 25 millimeter clamps. And then for this, you need the 2 millimeter hex wrench. Just flip it over. You don't need to tighten these all the way down, just make sure that the parts aren't going to fall apart. You actually want them a little bit loose because once you put them on the carbon fiber rods, it'll make that job a little bit easier. So that is going to be one of the clamps that holds 2 of the rods together. So it's the same procedure for the other clamp, and there's 3 holes, do the exact same thing. And then the top vertical clamp, this has 4 sets of holes, and that's just providing a stronger clamp. And it's the exact same procedure, just 1 more set of clamps. So now that you've finished assembling all the clamps, you're going to have 2 that look identical like this. We'll just set them aside for right now. And then this is the 3rd one, which is just a little beefier. And we'll set these aside for the time being. And now I'm going to assemble the parts in sections, and then at the end, we'll put all the pieces together and form the gimbal. So we'll start with the tilt mount. Grab a motor. And you'll see a part. It's in a little bag, has some threads on it, and 3 holes. And this will be mounted to the motor with those 3 holes. So grab 3 nuts. These are, I think, 10 millimeters, and you need the 2.5 millimeter wrench. Tighten them all and then go around and make sure they're all nice and snug. All right. And now you'll find a part that looks like this. And this is the outer tilt mount, which will screw on the back right here. I have the wires sticking out the same direction that these are going. And you'll notice there's a bunch of holes on here, and this is in case you end up mounting a different motor. We are coming out with a larger motor that will fit the other hole pattern. But what you're going to want to use is the smaller square made right here with the holes. The opposite side of the motor, you'll use this piece, which has a bearing on it. This is a flange bearing, and when you set this on here, make sure the nuts are pointed away, so the same direction that these threads are. That slides on. And now you need the 25mm clamps, 4 of them, and there should be 40mm bolts in here that'll go through. The carbon fiber pieces with 2 holes are spacers for this. So slide that in between your clamp and then this outer piece. Same exact thing for the other one. You can just make these hand tight for now. So this is your tilt motor, and I have all the booms lined up, and they're different sizes for different motors and different sections. So this one takes the carbon fiber rod that is about 5 inches. So I think it's the second smallest of the 25mm. Slide the cord through, and then when you put the carbon fiber rod in here, you might start at an angle and then turn it and slowly slide it in. It just seems to work a little nicer. So I push it to the end of the clamp right here, and now I'll go ahead and make sure it's nice and secure. Okay, you don't need to over tighten it, but just make sure that it is nice and snug on there and it's not going to move on you. So the last thing to do with this tilt motor is to put the 15mm clamp on there, and this is what's going to clamp onto the actual camera mount. So grab your Loctite, blue Loctite, and you don't need to use much, just put a little bit on the threads. And then you can screw this on, just go all the way until it stops. That's good. And you'll notice once it's screwed all the way on, you have just a little bit of room for tightening this knob. This piece is done. We'll go ahead and set that aside and move on to the opposite side of the tilt mount, which uses these 2 little pieces, and there's bearings in these as well. So you're going to need the 6-inch carbon fiber rod, which is right in the middle, a couple clamps, and 37mm screws. Start with the flange of this bearing on the outside and stick the screws through. Go ahead and slide the rod in there. Just to the end of the clamp. And tighten it up. At the very end, we'll go around and make sure everything is nice and tight, so you don't have to do that at this moment. You'll grab this 50mm bolt that has 6mm threads and slide that through so that the threads are on the same side as the nuts. And then we have these 15mm clamps, and this is where you're going to use the Loctite. Dab a little on the threads. There's also this little nut. Place that on. and then screw in the 50mm bolt. Take the hex wrench, this is 3/16, and tighten that up a little bit. You want just a tiny bit of play right in between there. So now this piece is done. We'll set that aside, let the Loctite set itself up.